Merry Christmas from the Basingstoke Canal out here in Hampshire, just outside of London. Just got done about a 6K run along these beautiful canals, and I love England for their canals. You know, it's a symbol of the Industrial Revolution, of connecting this whole country into this economic powerhouse. And it always fascinates me that each one of these canals has a story, and horses used to pull things up and down here, and it connected the whole world to this country and its commerce and its steel industry and coal and everything. And now it's still here, you know, and it's so beautiful. I love running these canals and looking at the locks and seeing all the history. But I just want to say Merry Christmas to all of you. It's an interesting time of reflection for me because we decided to come out here to the Four Seasons for a couple days, and it's really, really nice. And they have a crazy new kids pool, which is cool. But this place actually holds some weird significance for us because 10 years ago, I booked this place for myself and Mariana and Gabby when she was, I guess it would have been 4 years old at the time. And we were going to come out here for New Year's. And I just met Mariana, and it was going to be a thing. But a couple weeks before, she was actually abducted by her father and taken back to Bulgaria, and a really long, ugly legal battle ensued. And it was a really hard time for me and Mariana. And we actually still came out here for New Year's Eve because we didn't have anything else to do. And I remember we left in the middle of the night and drove back to London. And it was just a hard time those couple years. But, you know, we kept at it. And 3 years ago, we came back here with Gabby. And that was kind of special because it was the thing we had never done. And she was back and, you know, legally now in the UK. And it was just a wonderful time. And we did some skeet shooting and some falconry and did the ropes courses. And it was really awesome. But at that point, there was no one else in the Rose family. So this year we come back and we got these two little bandits running around, these two boys who both went on the water slide by themselves last night. 1-year-old Damon and 2-year-old Caden. Without my help, I was impressed. And now we're all running around as this 5-person family. You know, what an incredible change in 3 years. And I remember being here 3 years ago because I was working with Luis on the Ido Portal Moving Conversation. And at the time, it was a complete piece of dog shit. And I was stressed out about it because it needed so much editing work. And I remember being here. And so it's just interesting how this place can kind of track your life and track your seasons. And if I'm really honest, if I go back even further, say 25 years, on Christmas Day, I'm alone in New York City with a bag of egg rolls because there's no other restaurants open at the time, and a bottle of something, you know, watching television. That was how I used to celebrate Christmas. And I was real solitary, and I thought that was what tough guys did. They just did it on their own, and it hardened them up. And maybe it did harden me up. It definitely makes me really appreciative when I can be somewhere with friends, or somewhere beautiful like this place, or with family, or be, even more importantly, connected to a greater community, which is all of you, you know, and I'm just honored to do this thing called London Real, you know. At the end of the day, you know, that's what it is. It's an honor, and it's sometimes very difficult, but again, that's an honor too. It's nice that I can care so much about something that I'm willing to just push myself into this painful cauldron sometimes. And you know, and funny enough, I never thought I would revisit those dark moments, you know, back in New York when it was me and a bottle of something, or, you know, worst case, a bag of something as well, and revisit my periods of darkness and isolation and addiction. And I got to do that with the movie Iron Mind this year. So just many thanks for all of you. A lot of you have pulled me aside and said that they've watched the whole movie, and they wanted to watch 2 minutes on YouTube, and they watched the whole thing. And that really means a lot to me. Obviously, huge thanks to John Joseph for taking me on that adventure, and to my whole team and crew for making it happen. Nice to know that really dark period in my life that I thought would never ever have a function besides being this fucking shitty time in my life. It's something I didn't even want to talk about would ever be a source of light for so many other people. So that's crazy. And it goes to say maybe this one thing. And if anyone is ever having a really bad day or depressed, or even on the brink of wondering why you're even here, just remember that life gives you perspective. You know, if you can hang on that one extra day, that one extra year, that 10 extra years, everything makes a lot more sense, you know. And I can't imagine dying back then, you know, in that hospital bed, or alone in my apartment, you know, after some overdose. And then not being able to share my story with you, not being able to share the world with my boys and my daughter, and not being able to share London Real with everybody. I mean, that would have been a real selfish act to do something like that. And I'm so glad I didn't do it. So if anyone is having a tough Christmas, you know, I've been there, you know, and they kind of suck. But the truth is that know how much it sucks, and then make a change. You know, most likely you're attracting this negative situation in your life. So you got to get out of your comfort zone, you know, become a better person yourself, set yourself goals and give yourself discipline, and reach out to people and forgive people, you know, and be connected to this human organism that we all are. You know, we cannot exist alone. We cannot exist alone. We weren't put here to exist alone. And yet we tell ourselves that all the time. Look at the individual achievement. Look at the individual wealth. Look at the individual body. Look at the individual dunk shot. Look at the individual beauty. That's just Maya, as John Joseph would say. It's just an illusion. What's really happening is how we're all interconnected and how we're all deeply ingrained to help each other survive and thrive and take us as a species to the next level. And I've seen this in so many ways. I've seen this in my ayahuasca experience this year. I've seen this in London Real, in the eyes, in the souls of the men and women I have spoken to. I have seen it, and they've told me this, sometimes in words and sometimes not in words and in actions. And I know that's why we're here. I really do know that. And all wise people seem to figure that thing out, and I'm getting wiser every single week or every single year, I think. So remember that, you know, it really is about each other. That's just so important. And when they write your obituary, sooner or later, it ain't going to be about the money you made or the company you bought or the Instagram post. It's going to be about what did you do for others, period. That's how you will be remembered. And so think about that. How do you want to be remembered? Think about the great people in history that are remembered. Gandhi's, what did they did stuff for other people. So that's just my thought. And again, I hope you're having a wonderful Christmas holiday. If you're having a lousy one, well, take some ownership and say it's because of you, and start surrounding yourself with better people. Start taking ownership for your own bullshit, your own habits, your own nonsense, because people obviously don't want to be around you. And I know this because nobody wanted to be around Brian Rose in 1993, 94, 95, 2000, 2001. And it was my fault, you know, and I had to change my game up. And for me, that my overdose was the ultimate amount of feedback, and the way that everyone alienated me around there. It was what caused me to change. So I thank all of those people so much. And luckily, I was able to contact a lot of the people that I was around in New York at that time and asked for their forgiveness for what happened. And I got it. And it was a great way of closing. And they just said, Brian, we're just glad you're all right. We just wanted you to be okay. And I appreciate that. So from me to you in Hampshire, in England, I'm wishing you happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and make 2019 count, baby. You don't know how many of these days, months, years we have left. So make this one count. Do something big. And I'll see you on the other side. All right? Big love. Bye.